This may produce not only a tornado, and again, it's a possible tornado, but you need to treat any tornado warning as a confirmed tornado. That's a safe way to do it. There could also be quarter-size hail with the storm. Now, this storm has a history of producing what we call a high wind signature, where we saw 70-mile-per-hour winds indicated on radar for the last half hour. So if you go back and look at our Facebook page, or recall that we've been doing cut-ins on this storm, talking about that it already had a capability of producing nearly hurricane-force winds before this tornado warning was issued, and now they do have the tornado warning in effect. So I'm going to stop the motion here. We'll go in and take a look on the velocity scope, see what's happening inside this storm. And again, the area of concern looks like Atoka. You're in the clear. You are not in the warning. It is located to your northeast around Stringtown and Daisy at this time. And we're not getting a real clear signal on that because it's kind of in that hole between radars. So we don't have a real clear signal on that, but the National Weather Service is concerned about this area right in here, okay? So it's southeast of Stringtown, and again, as I highlight this, you can see that it does not include the city of Atoka, and with it moving away from you, we don't expect it to be an issue in the city of Atoka right now. So you're all clear there. Tushka, you should be good. Colgate, you're not in this. But again, Daisy in northeastern Atoka County, and Stringtown, you're just on the western edge of this, they call mesocyclone, rotating supercell thunderstorm. So you might get some destructive winds, what we call RFD. It's a rear flank downdraft. So the winds around the storm, I'm going to draw this for you, can go like this. So here's the tornadic circulation. Even around the backside of that, you can get strong winds coming like this. That wouldn't be part of the tornado, but would be basically a straight line wind that might be 70 or 80 miles per hour. So folks, you know what to do. If you're in the path of this thing, take cover in the middle of your residence, away from windows, bottom floor. If you're in a mobile home, you'll want to get out of that structure and seek shelter elsewhere in a nearby permanent building. These are the same rules we go through every year. They're very important. And again, this storm, even before the tornado warning was issued, had a history of showing high winds on the radar with considerable damage potential with that. So that's where we're at with this storm right now. Let's take a look and see what the storm height is. Often there's a relationship between the tallness of the updraft and the strength of the storm. And let's take a quick look at that. About 41,000 feet right now on this storm, which honestly is not all that impressive, but we do have a lot of shear, a lot of wind tonight. If you go outside and face south, you'll feel about a 30-mile-per-hour wind coming in. So we have a lot of wind shear going on, and so you don't always have to have a monster storm to produce the shear available for a tornado. And at this time, we are watching again just to the southeast of Stringtown. Right in this region, there is some what we call corrupted data there. Not much we can do about that. That's why it's kind of junky looking. Doesn't have that classic red and green couplet that you would normally expect to get with this kind of a storm. We have other storms to watch in Texoma too. I want you all to know, if you're not in that storm path, that we are watching you. Sherman Denison, we had a really bad storm earlier coming up with ping-pong ball-size hail. Since that time, this storm has really fizzled. So if you're watching from Colbert, Durant, back to Sherman, Denison, and Pottsboro, this storm is no longer severe. It's moderately strong, kind of noisy, got some lightning and thunder in that and some moderately heavy rainfall, but that is no longer a severe storm. Watching other storms to the south of us, down towards Denton, we see really a pretty intense storm here. We're going to keep a close watch on this one. I'll tell you why. See that little hook structure right there? This could be another storm that would be generating a tornadic rotation. It's a long way from Texoma. It's down there south of Denton, but it is tracking in this general direction. So we'll have to watch that for y'all over in Fannin County a bit later tonight, see if that holds together. Big picture here is all of Texoma right now. You can see the thunderstorms are advancing generally from southwest or west to east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Most of the storms are strong, not severe. The exception, of course, is that storm now over northeastern Atoka County. Let's go back in and check on that one. That, of course, is our tornado warned storm. That is the one we're most concerned about right now. And you can see now the red polygon. That's where the warning is from the National Weather Service. Let's click that. You can see where the area of concern is. And again, if you're watching from Atoka, it does not include you. If you're watching from Tushka, you're good on this. It looks like Stringtown will soon be out of the woods on this. You can clearly see whatever there is in there is tracking this direction at about 35 miles per hour. So let's do a track. See what the downstream communities are and the ETAs for them. And back it out a little bit here. And again, this tornado warning, folks, if you're just joining us, there's a tornado warning for northeastern Atoka County that goes till 10:15 tonight. We'll stop the motion, do a track on the core of the possible tornado in this storm right here, and it's pushing up in this direction. So it'll be leaving the News 12 viewing area in about 30 minutes or so. You see it tracking up toward Weathers, which is in Latimer County. Might clip northwestern Pushmataha County. You're watching from Jumbo or Goss. You're also in the potential path of this, again, unconfirmed tornado moving through this region at this time. This is one of the tough things about tornado warnings, and it's where our science is, folks. We're kind of out in a remote area here. We don't have anybody that has confirmed this to be an actual on-the-ground tornado, but we do know that there's very strong winds in this storm that might produce tornado-like damage, even if there's not a tornado in there. We're getting some pretty heavy rain here at the News 12 studios in North Sherman. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pouring. These storms also have a capability of producing very heavy rainfall. Let me back this up here. You can see the big picture with the heavy rain now. Sherman-Denison area getting some what I would call moderate to heavy rain. Got to stop the motion and do a little query on that. Rainfall rates, well, 5 inches per hour, probably not. But I think easily we're looking at 1 inch per hour rainfall in some of these heavier storms. Maybe 2 inches. I think this is probably a believable report here from near Colbert. Really pouring, so this would be a good time to not have to go out and do anything as far as traveling. It's definitely going to be some brief flooding of roads, not a major flood issue. It's awfully dry out there, so we're not expecting a major flood, but we are expecting to see some heavy runoff from these fast-moving storms. And that's the deal. They're moving about 35 to 40 miles per hour. We would not expect to see major flooding with this. Now I'm going to do something called a cross-section on this tornadic storm. We're going to cut this storm in half. Take a look at the heights on this thing. As I scroll through, you can see the three-dimensional structure of the storm. We just turn the whole thing on its side, and right in this region, you can see that's where the storm is tallest. Now, this is not really all that tall for a storm of this type. 35,000 feet is considered really pretty moderate. So this would be a potential tornado, but not a conclusive signature on it. We don't see any chance there's a big tornado in there, but even a small tornado can do damage, folks. I mean, an EF0 is less than 86 miles per hour. I don't want an 85 mile per hour wind hitting my house, so that's why if you are in this tornado warned area, even though this is very unlikely to be a large tornado, it could be a destructive one, so we want you to take that seriously. But we're telling you, hey, this is not going to be an EF5. It's nothing like that indicated out there at all. Here's where we have our warning. Let's do an update here, see what the National Weather Service has to say about it. And again, this is for northeastern Atoka County. That's till 10:15 p.m. Does not include Atoka, does not include Tushka or Caney or Lane. These are all communities that are now upstream from the motion of the storm. Michael, go ahead and punch this up full screen. I want to check out something real quick and get the latest information for the folks if we can. So I'm going to get up and move here for a second. Y'all stand by. Tornado warning for northeastern Atoka County. Okay, here we go, folks. We've had almost 1 inch and 3/4 of rain in Johnston County in 1 hour. So that's like I'm telling you, there's definitely some torrential rain in these thunderstorms. They will continue to produce very heavy rainfall. Now, the only thing saving us from a big flood problem is the fact they're moving pretty fast. But 1.76 inches of rain in southern Johnston County in a 1 hour time frame. That's more rain you've had in 2 months. So it's really coming down there. Again, I want to let you know if you're not in the tornado warned area, we want to keep track on your weather too. So we're going to do that right now. Here's what we have. So we have a line of some pretty intense thunderstorms. Not severe right now, but if you're watching from Gainesville, you can see a lot of stuff off to your south and west in the form of lightning in the sky here from, about Era back to Valley View, Munster, all that's tracking to the east-northeast like so. So if you're watching from Sherman and Denison, these storms will be coming your way. Whitesboro, Gordonville, you're going to be getting some of this. Lebanon, Enos, back to Medill and Kingston. All this is tracking your way at about 40 miles per hour. So let's do a storm track on that. We're going to enter the data here for you, 40 miles per hour, forward speed. These, again, are not indicated to be severe, but they're putting down the rain, lightning. I would say these are sub-severe, but very strong. That's what we classify those at. And here's the track on those, coming right back through that same area that had the last storm. So here are some ETAs for you in Sherman. Bottom, Honey Grove, you can see going to be coming through between about 10:23 and Honey Grove, and about an hour later than that. What can you expect from these storms? Most of them will just have heavy rain. There will be a possibility of some pockets of damaging wind, but at this time, they don't look strong enough to do that, okay? The only storm we have that we're worried about is up in Atoka County, which, of course, we are watching that carefully for you. See, really nothing new here. I'm sorry to say, we don't have anything new coming in from any spotters of the National Weather Service, so we're kind of out here in an area that is very remote, very beautiful country, by the way, if you've never been up there, but not the best place to spot tornadoes or storms that have mesocyclones, which is a rotating bottom part of the thunderstorm in there. We are really having to do a little guesswork here, folks, on this, but let's do a little scan. Now, we are getting a better couplet now. That's the red and green. That shows you the rotation in there. We're getting a better velocity couplet on this storm now than we did. So here's where we have the rotation. The center of the rotation appears to be now northeast of Stringtown. As far as the velocity on this storm, now we'd normally look for a threshold of about 70 miles per hour minimum for a tornado to be on the ground. Let's hunt around in there together to see if we can find anything like that in this storm right now. There's a 23, that's not much. We've got a 39 there. Okay, we're not seeing anything like that, so I would say this is possible but not real likely at this point in time to be a tornado in there. However, now, like I said a minute ago, it's still a bad storm. It's still a dangerous storm. Now, okay, look at this. Just while I've been talking, if you'll notice, something changed on the map. The polygon moved. As the storm moves, these are called storm-based warnings. So as the storm moves, they move the polygon to keep up with that so that it's only going to be downstream of where the storm is. So if the storm is here, the polygon is here, that's not going to work. So it's all moves together. So let's take a look. Storm polygon now has shifted just in the last couple of minutes. So now it no longer includes Stringtown either. It's now confined to the extreme northeastern part of Atoka County. This would be around Daisy and Goss. Okay, y'all out there in that beautiful country in the northeastern part of the county are under the warning for this time. Now, we just saw on the velocity, it looked pretty iffy, but that doesn't mean there couldn't be some damaging wind in there. And that's the way we have to go with it until the warning is either clarified by additional information. Okay, hold on, stand by. Stand by, here comes something new. Okay, 9:37 p.m., 1 minute ago, a tornado warning remains in effect for northeastern Atoka County until 10:15. At 9:37 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 9 miles west of Daisy. So y'all in Daisy, you are going to be pretty close to the track of this thing, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. And again, this is based on radar indicated rotation. There has been no confirmation on this. It's going to be tough out there where we're at to see it. So if you're in Daisy or Goss, you'd want to go ahead and maintain a place of safety. Now, if you're from somewhere else in the Texoma area, you're saying, well, why are you guys covering up our show to indicate this tornado? Well, if it's in your county, you'd probably want us to do that, wouldn't you? So that is just our policy. If there's a tornado warning, we're going to stay on the air with that until the warning is canceled. Okay, that's what we do no matter where it's at. If it's in Carter County or Lamar County or Grayson County, or in this case, it's in northeastern Atoka County. But while we're doing that, we can show you some other things that are happening in the area because 99.9% of y'all are not in that warning, and I'm sure you care about your weather too. So here it is. We have a big batch of heavy thunderstorms coming through. That is for sure. Now, in case you weren't with us a moment ago when I mentioned it, we have a confirmed report of nearly 2 inches of rain in 1 hour near Milburn, okay, in Johnston County. So that's coming down. That's really some heavy runoff with that. We're going to have some flooded roads and things like that for a few hours. Of course, good news, we need the rain. Don't need quite that much all at once. Moving in a little tighter, you can see also there's a lot of lightning in these storms coming through Durant right now. You've got frequent lightning in the area around Durant. So I would stay off the porch, stay inside. A lot of folks, when they go out on the porch, watch the lightning, not real safe. Better off indoors with that because lightning can be very unpredictable and about like his tornado warning. Just never know what's going to happen with it. So we are back on this in northeastern Atoka County, just a small region now of this county where they have a 35 mile per hour forward speed. Going to track that for you. Let's stop the motion. And we'll enter 35 right there, folks. The suspected tornado would be located on the left side of this little polygon here, right in here. So we'll track it from there. And again, folks in Daisy, you're definitely in the path of this. And there are some other communities that would be near or in the path of this dangerous core. Okay, let's just call it the core of the storm. Whether there's a tornado in there or not, you're going to have probably some winds to 60 or 70 miles per hour. That can blow trees over, that can damage roofs, that can blow out windows, things like that. So it's no picnic, okay, even if you luck out and there's not a tornado. Now, while I've been talking about this, something new has developed. There is now a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Pushmataha County, and that's related to this same storm complex. Okay, you got the small area where the tornado would be, then you have a broader storm that still is capable of producing other kinds of damage. Let me read you that real quickly. So this is just came out about a minute ago. Severe thunderstorm warning now for parts of Pushmataha County. This is for the storm we've been tracking, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Now listen to this, folks. May contain 70-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. So there's no tornado warning for this in Pushmataha County. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning. But I say just. That's almost hurricane-force winds. So please heed this storm if you are in Pushmataha County. This is a nasty one, and put it in motion for you. You can see it's tracking up Clayton. You're in the polygon. If you look at the shape of this polygon here, it does include Clayton. And Sardis Lake and points west all the way over to Daisy in Atoka County. We also see that our warning for Atoka County continues to shrink. The storm is moving away, so the area that's affected by it gets smaller and smaller as we continue with the broadcast here. Here's the latest on the tornado warning for Atoka County. Again, we know a lot of y'all are not affected by this, so let's see what's going on outside. First of all, our Holiday Inn Ardmore Tower Cam, just some rain along I-35, nothing especially serious there at this time, but we do have a bunch of thunderstorms out there. Heavy rain has been confirmed, up to 2 inches per hour. A lot of lightning in these storms. You're watching from, let's say, Grayson County. Let's move in on these storms here coming out of Cook County. They are not indicated to be severe, but they've got some extremely heavy rainfall. Let's query that. We'll click on the storm and see what it's showing. Okay, we talked about Milburn getting almost 2 inches of rain in an hour. Take a look at this. We have a precipitation rate, and it's based on a computer. I'd say it's pretty close. We're getting some torrential rain out there, 1 to 2 inches per hour of these storms that are tracking in from the south and west toward the east and northeast. So this is moving about 35 miles an hour. Let's do a little track on that. And it's coming right toward Ashley, Pottsboro, Sherman, Denison. And you can see the ETAs on this storm. Going to be another little toad choker coming in for y'all there in Grayson, parts of Marshall, Bryan counties, maybe Fannin County, as that tracks off in that direction to the northeast. If you have a report, I want to encourage y'all to get on our Facebook page and share it with us, okay? We are not omniscient. We can't know everything. That's why we count on the Weather Service. We count on Doppler 12. We count on a lot of different sources of information. So if you happen to see something where you are, please let us know about it, and we can share it with everybody else. That's the way this stuff works. That's why we have such a dedicated trained spotter program. They go out and they deploy during storms like this to keep their eyes in the sky and see what's happening. And I saw some reports earlier before this tornado warning was issued that there was a rotating wall cloud near Atoka. Now, Atoka, you're in the clear. This storm has moved away from you. That was a while back. In fact, we see this tornado warning getting smaller and smaller, just down to a small portion now of northeastern Atoka County near Daisy. You're kind of in the crosshairs on this with what's left of this storm. Take a look. And we still do see some rotation there, the red and the green. That's that little couplet we talk about all the time. And if you watch the weather very often, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you don't, let me draw it for you. So we have basically a large rotating storm called a supercell, okay? And as you get toward the center, it's like those ice skaters on the Olympics. As you get toward the center, it speeds up faster and faster and faster. That is called conservation of angular momentum. You don't need to know that. What you need to know is if it gets to a certain speed, it could produce a tornado. So we look for about 60, 70 miles per hour to be the threshold for a tornadic storm to actually be producing a tornado. So we click around inside of here hunting for anything that would be of that intensity. There's a 42 there, so it's a pretty strong storm to say the very least. I'm not seeing any 70s, which is good news, okay? It may be that this storm has weakened a little bit. Also, another tool we can use is to scroll back and forth and look at the progression of this couplet. It looks like it may have weakened slightly in the last few scans. If you back it up here where you see the green's a little brighter, right in here. And if we query that, if I click on those elements, they might have been a little stronger a few minutes ago. However, these things can pulse. They can go up and down, and so you can't say for sure, hey, it's over. And now, we count on the Weather Service as the official government agency that issues these warnings. We follow their lead. If they say there's still a warning, there's still a warning. We don't issue our own tornado warnings. Now, if you were to call the station and say, hey, I see a tornado on the ground, and I would probably quiz you for a minute or two, make sure you knew what you were looking at, then we would go on the air and report that. But that would not be a tornado warning that we issued. That would be a report. We count on the Weather Service. And the way this works, folks, is spotters like you and me out in the field would call in and say, hey, look, I see a tornado. They would vet that. They'd make sure it made sense. Then they would put that out as information for the public. They're not just going to believe everything people say, because that can get you in trouble, especially at night when it's tough to see what's going on. Okay, it's really hard at night to see a wall cloud, which is what a tornado comes out of, the rotating wall cloud. It's pretty hard to see that. Here's our tornado warning. I'm going to jump over here for a second, Michael, and check the latest update from the National Weather Service Emergency Management Room. Y'all just stand by a sec, okay? I am going to ask the National Weather Service in Norman if they got anything new on this tornado warning. Okay, here we have an update here. It came out a few minutes ago that this storm has weakened. We've been talking about that. That this potentially tornadic storm is starting to weaken. That's good news. That's good news for our friends in Daisy, Oklahoma. Other areas that are located right there in that neighborhood. Technically, the warning is still in effect, though, until 10:15. Now, I got to think they're going to scrub this thing pretty quick, but that's not my decision to make. When that happens, we'll let you know. While we're waiting to see what happens with that, I do want to let you know about some neighboring areas, like, again, Pushmataha County. You are not under a tornado warning, but you do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It's basically the same storm coming in from the west, but you're just going to catch the non-tornadic portion of it there with the rotation is you're not expecting to get that. So they don't have a tornado warning in effect for you right now. And we don't really see any indication, any compelling danger for you of a tornado. But you may have some winds to about 60 or even 70 miles per hour, okay? And some quarter-size hail. That's possible in your area. We can stop the scan here and look inside, see what's going on there for you. And this is the same storm we've been showing you with the couplet there. Nothing conclusive there at all on that right now. Okay, winds. We're getting a real strong inflow into these storms, folks. 30, 35, almost 40 miles per hour. And this matters because this is why we're getting that crazy rain, almost 2 inches per hour of rain coming out of these, because of the very high moisture content. This is very unusual for late February, but here it is. We're getting it now, and that's why we're having these torrential rainfall reports coming in. So if you have heavy rain in your area, you can bet there's probably some temporarily flooded roads for a few hours, and I would definitely be aware of that. Temperature-wise, we're generally in the 60s. Here's the Arctic front. It's coming through. Look at these temperatures. They are dropping off from the 60s to the 20s and even the teens. We'll be having that kind of weather in our backyard coming up later in the week. Not today, of course, but we're expecting it to be a problem just a little bit later down the road for Texoma as we get into a real change in the weather from all these storms to Arctic cold. How about that? Quite a change there. All right, let's take a look now and see what's going on with our tornado warning. And I still have it right here in the extreme northeast part of Atoka County. Till 10:15. I'm going to do the little cut again. And y'all like that when I slice the storm in half? Let's take a look at that. Here we kind of turn the storm on its side and look kind of like an MRI for a thunderstorm. We sort of slice it apart and see what's going on inside of there, see if we can identify any features that would be of interest in the storm. And we don't really see a whole lot in here. In fact, this thunderstorm is fairly weak, really, for a tornadic storm. I am not real confident there's a tornado in there. Still, my job to relay the National Weather Service information until the storm has officially been canceled for a tornado warning. And that will not be for about 20 more minutes, 10:15. So we're looking in there to see where the updraft would be the tallest. The tornado is the updraft. So if we got that spitting updraft in there and it comes down to the ground, that's what a tornado is. So that is going to be the tallest part of the storm. So we can kind of make a connection there. If there is a tornado in there, it's going to be right here. Okay, you see that little part of the polygon right there? So now we're going to back up and zoom in on that. If we have a tornado, it'll be right here in this section, right there. Doesn't look like much, does it? But that's where it'd be if we have one in there. And you can kind of see a little, we call donut hole right there. Sometimes because of the updraft being so strong, it carries the rain high up in the cloud, and you get a little weak spot there where the rain's not coming through. And that can be your rotation center. So what do you say we check that out, see what's in there? We're still seeing a little rotation there, the red and green. Still seeing that right through there. And again, Daisy would be the danger spot. It would be very close to Daisy right now. Moving northeast at 35 would put it almost on top of you. As we know, Daisy's located right here in the extreme northeast part of the county. So that's where the dangers are maximized. Elsewhere in Texoma, though, we do have heavy rain coming into Grayson County. Once again, you had one wave come through earlier. That warning for Grayson County was canceled about a half hour ago. We told you about that. But we have a fresh round of rain coming in. At this point in time, nothing severe indicated. You can see heavy rainfall. Now, I talked about this a moment ago that there was almost 2 inches of rain in 1 hour at Milburn in southern Oklahoma. So these storms are capable of putting out some pretty heavy rainfall. And the reason for that is it's unusually warm and unusually moist for this time of the year. So that's what you get. In fact, if we stop this and do a little query on the rainfall rates, we're going to see everything from less than an inch per hour to 2 inches per hour. And I believe these reports, these are consistent with what's been measured by actual rain gauges. So when you can match those up, you have a high confidence that everything's working right on these rainfall reports. So heavy rain. There are no flash flood warnings in effect right now, but we do expect to see brief flooding. Thankfully, we've had a lot of dry weather. Well, not thankfully, but that'll limit the flooding potential. In fact, this is really good news for most people, getting this rain in there and getting rid of some of this drought, which has been severe in Texoma. You may know we've been under a severe drought in our region for months. Much of Texoma is in a severe or even an extreme drought. Back to our tornado warning. I'm sorry I don't really have much fresh information for you. We're just not getting much from the National Weather Service, but there it is. In northeastern Atoka County, and that warning will expire here in about 20 more minutes. I would not be surprised if they cancel it sooner. The storm appears to be leaving the county, but if you're in Daisy, it could be directly over you right now. You're probably getting the worst you're going to get right now, and it's also going to clip northeastern parts of, or northwestern parts of Pushmataha County. So if you're watching from this region, you're not in a tornado warning, but you do have a pretty intense storm coming through right here. Around, well, folks in Clayton, heads up. You're probably going to get some strong winds, maybe 60, 70 miles per hour. I'll move the box out of the way so you can see that coming in. I'm going to do a track on it for y'all in the Clayton area. It's moving about 35 miles an hour. When will that storm get to you? It's not too far away. Strong winds are coming. This may or may not be a destructive wind for everybody, but it's definitely got the potential. In fact, the National Weather Service is saying 70 miles per hour on this right now as it pushes to the east-northeast about 30, 35 miles per hour. We are down to the last little sliver of Atoka County here under this warning. Again, if y'all see something, please let us know. Facebook is a great place to do that. You can even send us an email, news12@kxii.com. We still read emails around here. And let us know what's going on. Or even our hotline, 892-6397. That's 903-892-NEWS. If you see something, okay, don't call and ask us the forecast. Please don't do that. We'll give you that here in a few minutes on our News 12 at 10 broadcast. Okay, so let's keep it the hotline open for real reports, and that would be a super blessing to us. If you call us and tell us, we can share it with everybody else. That's the way this works, okay? And thank you so much in advance. If you do see something, let us know. If not tonight, some other time when something's happening, okay? That's the way we'd like to do that. And continuing to focus on this tornado warning in northeastern Atoka County, just not really seeing a whole lot, folks, that helps me pinpoint exactly where it is. We have this same little red and green couplet we've had for the last hour. So if there's anything going on, looking at the shading, okay, the color scale, it's like a little contour thing. Right here, just west of Daisy would be the most likely place for something as far as damaging wind. That'd be it right there. Let's zoom out a little bit, take a look at elsewhere in our viewing area. We've got a lot of rain. Heavy lightning. Look at the lightning coming in around Durant now. You guys in Bryan County have got a tremendous amount of lightning. I'm going to draw a little box around that. We have a way we can identify the number of lightning strikes. So here inside this red box, last 10 minutes, 100 lightning strikes. So do the math on that. 10 strikes a minute, not extraordinary, but definitely lighten the skies up around Bryan County. And of course, that can contribute possibly to some scattered power failures and things like that. So we do have a moderately strong storm dumping the rain over Durant right now. No indication of anything severe with that. Y'all got to understand something. We don't issue warnings for lightning. Lightning is not considered to be warnable. So any thunderstorm contains lightning and it's dangerous. But when we issue severe thunderstorm warnings, we pass along the ones from the National Weather Service. When we do that, it indicates winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, quarter-size hail or greater, or the possibility of a tornado. That's what a severe thunderstorm is. Every thunderstorm contains lightning, so we don't issue warnings for that. It would just be confusing. But bear in mind, anytime there's a thunderstorm, lightning is a danger. You got to stay indoors, stay away from the windows, and stay off the porch even, because, you know, that's not indoors. So that's the safe way to do it. Back to our tornado warning in northeastern Atoka County, still watching that. And National Weather Service says this storm is really weakening, but they're hanging on to the warning. It's a puzzle. I don't know why they're doing that, but that's what they're doing right now. So we are going to stay with it until it's officially cleared. But I got to tell you, if y'all are watching from Pushmataha County, I think the most dangerous part of the storm has already moved into the area west of Clayton here. And if y'all are watching from there, expect strong straight line winds, not necessarily a tornado, but a strong straight line wind gushing out of that storm. And that could be at 60 or 70 miles per hour. You know what? Let me put that on the screen for you so we can know what's going on with that. Y'all stand by. Kind of need a little water or something. Winds possible to 70 miles per hour. I think someone's running to get me some water. That's what I love about working here. We got a lot of folks that care about each other. It's a nice thing. Thank you all for that. And more importantly, the folks that are out there tonight watching where these storms are, hopefully we'll give you some useful information. 70 mile per hour winds. That's almost hurricane force. So even though we don't have a tornado warning for this part of the storm, treat it as a dangerous storm. Stay away from the windows. Kind of be in the middle of your home and practice good storm safety like that, okay? Bottom floor, mobile home, you really need to be somewhere else. Even in a severe thunderstorm, those things can flip. I used to live in one, and it got pretty scary. Every time we had a thunderstorm, we would get out of there. It's not convenient. It's a pain in the pain, you know what I'm saying? But it's what you got to do. Stone Grissom, bringing me a cup of water. Thank you, Stone.
I got you two.
I got 2 cups, okay. That is great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm going to check on the National Weather Service communication. They call it the chat room. And they said they are going to scrub this tornado warning. Okay. So, folks in northeastern Atoka County, we expect this warning to be canceled momentarily, as we see no indication of a tornado right now. All right, back to our big picture. We're gonna stand by while they cancel that warning. It should be any second now, according to what they said. And we will be joining our News 12 broadcast. We're going to have a regular show, it looks like, because here's the policy on this. When there's a tornado warning, we stay with that. Even if it's out in the middle of an area that doesn't have any spotters like we have tonight, and you're thinking, what are you doing? Well, you know, there could be a dangerous storm out there, so we're just reminding you about that. We're also flying around and showing you other storms in the area that aren't under the warning. But until the tornado warning is over, We will stay with that. And that'll be canceled, I think, momentarily, at which time we'll have our regular News 12 broadcast here at 10 o'clock, which will also include some weather, but we'll have other stories and sports and all those kinds of things, too, because I do believe this warning will be canceled any moment for northeastern Atoka County. But while that's happening, let me show you some of the other storms that are happening in Texoma. And if you're just joining us now, we're doing coverage on a tornado warning for extreme northeast Atoka County. That warning should expire momentarily. National Weather Service has already said they think the storm has weakened below tornadic intensity, but technically there's still a warning there up around Daisy in northeastern Atoka County. Let me show you that for about 12 more minutes. That's this little polygon right here. Okay, so if you just tuned in, there's other stuff happening in Texoma, and I want to show you that. Outside that tornado warning, we have quite a few heavy thunderstorms in the region, and some of those are really putting down the rain. Take a look at this stuff. We've got a lot of lightning, heavy rain around Durant. We've got a confirmed report of almost 2 inches of rain per hour to some of these storms. So that's the biggie. Got lightning, heavy rain. In fact, except for that warning in Pushpataha County, hey, guess what? They've canceled the warning for Atoka County. You are now in the clear around Daisy, which is where that storm was. There's no longer a tornado warning for that storm. So that means we're going to go ahead and do our show the regular way. Now, Michael with the guys in the back that are directing, I'm not sure what you're going to do with this, but we are going to wrap up our tornado coverage. The tornado warning has been canceled for Atoka County. We still do have a severe thunderstorm warning for northwestern Pushpataha County, and this is a dangerous storm that may contain 70-mile-per-hour winds, but is not indicated to be tornadic. And that, folks, is the only warning currently in Texoma. If I zoom out, you can see there are no other warnings currently in the area. We got lots of stuff to talk about in weather, but also some news and sports. So we're going to do that now.